Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Journey with Vijay Kumar Srivastav. Today we are going to study the topic hybrid rice seed production technology. Before presentation I would like to introduce myself. I am Vijay Kumar Srivastav. I have done MS Agriculture with a specialization in agronomy from GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology Pantnagar in 1996 and presently associated with seed industry. So let's move to the presentation. First little introduction about rice crop. Rice with botanical name Oryzus sativa is the staple food for more than 3 billion people in the world. Globally, rice is grown in more than 100 countries with an area of around 158 million hectares and production around 700 million tons with the productivity of 4.4 tons per hectare. Among the rice growing countries, India has the largest area under rice in the world, and in respect of production, India takes second position with 131 million tons. In India, rice is cultivated on 44.6 million hectare area with a production of 131 million tons and average productivity of 2.97 tons per hectare. Rice growing regions in India. Rice is grown under so diverse soil and climatic conditions that it is said that there is hardly any type of soil in which rice crop cannot be grown, including alkaline and acidic soils. Rice crop has also got wide physical adaptability. Therefore, it is grown from below sea level to elevation of 3000 meters in Jammu Kashmir, hills of Uttaranchal, Himachal Pradesh, northeastern areas. The rice growing areas in the country can be broadly grouped in 5 regions. First one is northeastern region, which includes Assam and northeastern states. In Assam, rice is grown in the basin of Brahmaputra river under rainfed conditions. Second is eastern region. This region comprises of Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, eastern Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal. In this region, rice is grown in the basins of Ganga and Mahanadi rivers and has the highest intensity of rice cultivation in the country. This region receives heavy rainfall and rice is grown mainly under rainfed conditions. Third region is northern region, which comprises of Haryana, Punjab, Western Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh and Jammu Kashmir. This region experiences low winter temperature and single crop of rice from May to September and July to December. Fourth is Western region. This region comprises of Gujarat, Maharashtra and Rajasthan. Rice is largely grown under rainfall conditions, which sowing takes place from June to August and it having the cropping period from October to December. Fifth region is southern region. This region comprises of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Rice is mainly grown in deltaic tracts of Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri rivers and the non-deltaic rain-fed area of Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. Rice is grown under irrigated conditions in deltaic tracts. In rice crop, there are various growth stages which can be described as seedling stage, transplanting stage, maximum tilling stage, panicle formation stage, flowering stage and maturity stage. Now to understand the practices of hybrid rice seed production. In hybrid rice seed production, two parental lines are used, A line and R line. A line is known as cytoplasmic male sterile line and R line is known as restorer line or male parent. After outcrossing pollination, there will be production of F1 hybrid seeds. Here we can see the female and male ratio is maintained 6:2, which is most suitable as per the present production conditions. And there are various stages in rice crop, like it starts from nursery sowing to transplanting, boot leaf stage, flowering stage, cross pollination stage, seed development, and maturity to harvest stage. After harvest of female seed, we are getting F1 hybrid seed. The male seed is harvested in advance and it is kept aside from the field, and female parent is used as a hybrid seed produce. In hybrid rice seed production, parents are playing very important role. Now first we will go through desirable characteristics of A line, means female parent. This parent should have a stable and complete male sterility, good panicle exertion and high number of spikelets per panicle, wider angle and long duration of glume opening to enhance crossing, large and feathery stigma with higher percent of exerted stigma, erect plant type with short and narrow flag leaf, a strong and synchronous tillering ability, high receptivity of stigma to enhance seed setting, good combining ability for seed yield and yield attributing traits, early initiation of flowering and concentrated blooming, high seed yield and good acceptable seed characteristics. Now restorer line, which is also known as male line R line. Restorers play an important role both in increasing heterosis as well as increasing hybrid seed yield in seed production plots. The desirable characteristics of R line can be described as it should have a strong and stable restoration over seasons and locations. It should have high vigorous plant growth habit with large number of spikelets containing big and plumpy anthers filled with large number of pollen grains. Long shedding period means release of pollens for the longer period. After that, complete dehiscence of anthers and high amount of residual pollen availability. Profuse tillering, synchronous heading and concentrated blooming of spikelets. Multiple disease and pest resistance, good outcrossing and combining ability and acceptable green quality. Now we will study about prerequisites for a good hybrids. Mean what are the optimum conditions by which we can get a good hybrid. It should have a stable cytoplasmic genetic male sterility system, adaptability across environments, perfect synchronization in flowering of A line and R lines, height of the male and female parents are playing important role, stigma receptivity and pollen dispersal is in seed production, high and economical seed yields and high level of yields on commercial scale. Now to study about prerequisites for a successful hybrid seed production, means the optimum conditions which are required for successful hybrid seed production. First one is selection of site. Second is isolation requirement. It should mate with a spatial isolation, time isolation and barrier isolations. Knowledge about flowering behavior of parental lines. Synchronization of male and female parents. Row ratio and spacing. Management practices. Rogging, which is very important to maintain the genetic purity. After that, techniques of supplementary pollination and harvesting dry and packing practices. First we will study about seed rate in hybrid seed production. As we know, we are using two parents, female parent which is A line and second is male parent which is R line. The seed rate for female is used as 5 to 7 kg per acre and male seed requirement is 3 to 4 kg per acre. There may be slight variations depending on parental behaviors in different agroclimatic conditions and it can be modified according to location specific requirements. Now seed soaking and germination. 1 kg seed should be soaked in 1.5 liters of water for overnight 8 to 10 hours. Stir the seeds upon soaking and discard those seeds that are floating on the surface because these are chaffy seeds having no germination and vigor. It should be pre-germinated by incubating in warm, moist conditions for 24 to 36 hours or until sprouting. Seeds can be incubated in moist jute sacks, and incubation keeps the seed warm, increases growth of the embryo, and results in uniform germination. This pre-germinated seed should be broadcasted uniformly on drained seed beds at the rate of 1 kg per 40 square meter area. Thicker sowing of seeds would lead to weaker seedlings, so there should be proper distribution on the beds. Nursery raising and its management. Prepare plots of 1.25 meter width and 8 meter length having total area of 10 square meter with 4-inch height to raise nursery. As per seed sowing plan, we can maintain number of plots according to area. Use 220 grams of urea and 310 grams of SSP, single superphosphate, per plot in nursery. Nursery in 800 to 1000 square meter area is enough for transplanting 1 hectare land. Spread trichoderma within 10 days after sowing of nursery as a protection measures. Now we will study about nursery management and cultural practices. To raise the healthy nursery for 1 acre, we require 300 square meter land or 40 square meter area per kg of seed. The selected land for nursery raising must be free from volunteers and weeds. The selected land for nursery raising should be free from shade. The selected land for nursery raising should be near to the irrigation source. Nursery area should be well puddled and leveled a week before sowing. It would be better to apply zinc sulfate at the rate 2 kg and FYM 10 to 15 kg for 1 acre nursery. Prepare the bed width 1.25 to 1.5 meter. The height should be 10 to 15 centimeters and length can be made as per the field conditions. Provide adequate fertilizer to nursery beds. Like for 100 square meter area of nursery bed, provide 2 kg of complex and 0.5 kg muriate of potash at the time of sowing. Broadcast the pre-germinated seeds on drained beds at the rate 1 kg seed per 35 to 40 square meters nursery area. It is very important that seed has to broadcast uniformly as thinner layer to get healthy seedlings, and dense sowings of seeds would lead to weaker seedlings. Keep the nursery bed moist for the first few days. Do not flood the beds. When seedlings are about height of 2 to 3 centimeters, keep the beds submerged in a shallow layer of water of 1 to 2 centimeters. A shallow layer of water promotes root growth and is important to thick seedlings with more number of tillers. Tillers produced during nursery stage are more productive than the tillers produced after transplanting. Irrigation water can be flow from female nursery beds to male nursery beds, but never male to female nursery beds, because if female seeds are moving from female beds to male, it will not cause any quality issues because the male is sterile and it will not contaminate. But when the water is flowing from male beds to female, there will be adulteration and we have to remove the male plants while rogging, and it will create the pressure on rogging process, and there are chances of admixture also if it has not been rogged out. So the water flow should be from female nursery to male nursery. There are another management practices to be followed in nursery, like in case of night low temperatures or flood in night or water changes in early morning to avoid cold injury. And extreme conditions, we have to follow necessary plastic sheets to avoid cold injuries. After that, weed management, disease and pest management in nursery area. So all should be managed well. The seedlings will be ready for transplanting in about 30 to 35 days. It would be better to transplant seedling at younger stage, below 35 days in Rabi and below 30 days in Kharif season. Use as protective measures 5 kg zinc sulfate with 20 kg of urea or 1000 liters filter water of 2.5 kg calcium carbonate per hectare can be used. To control whitening, use 4 kg ferrous sulfate with 20 kg urea per hectare. Use 500 gram carbendazim 50% vegetable powder per hectare to control paddy blast. Use 2 kg zinc manganese carbamate per hectare to control brown spot disease. To protect the crop from various insects pests, spray 1 liter phenitrophthion 50 EC or 1.25 liter quinalphos 25 EC or 1.5 liter chlorpyrifos 20 EC per hectare. So we have to manage the nursery in a effective way to control the disease, pest and health of the nursery. Field preparation. After summer plowing, 2 to 3 plowings are required to prepare the soil. Do proper bunding of fields to conserve and retain water. If dhencha for green manuring is taken as previous crop, it should be incorporated with phosphorus. Irrigate the field at least 1 week prior to transplanting to allow to grow weeds. Then plow the fields by filling water and do puddling before transplanting. Here to study about preparation of paddy main field. Preparation of main field is very important operation. Keep the fields flooded or saturated with water 15 to 20 days before the transplanting. Plowing in the standing water in the field is called puddling. Puddling should be start 10 to 15 days ahead of transplanting. Before puddling, an earthen bund about 30 to 35 cm high should be made around the field. Puddle the field by 3-4 runs of puddler in standing water. After puddling, use leveler to level the field. Field must be well leveled to get uniform crop growth. Apply single superphosphate SSP at the rate 50 kg per acre, which will help for the decomposition of grains, chaffs and extra of previous crop. Apply zinc sulfate at the rate 10 to 15 kg per acre in last puddling. Thus incorporate in 10 to 15 cm deep in soil. There must be 3 to 5 days gap between zinc sulfate and phosphatic fertilizer application. Apply basal dose of fertilizers before final leveling, which will mix well and incorporate in 10 to 15 cm deep in soil. Now we will study about puddling. What is puddling? The tillage operation that is done in a land with standing water is called wet tillage or puddling. Puddling operation consists of plowing repeatedly in standing water until the soil becomes soft and muddy. Puddling is wet cultivation of land that mixes soil and water to produce an impervious layer. It is achieved by plowing the flooded soil and harrowing it at progressively lower water contents. Puddling is churning the soil with water. It is done in paddy fields with standing water of 5 to 10 cm depth after initial plowing with country plow. It breaks up the clods and churns the soil. And the purpose of puddling can be described as to facilitate transplantation of paddy seedlings by making the soil softer, to obtain a soft seed bed for the seedlings to establish faster, to minimize percolation of water so that water can stagnate in the field, to minimize leaching loss of nutrients and thereby increase the availability, to decrease water and nutrient losses by reduced hydraulic conductivity, to facilitate better availability of nutrient by achieving reduced soil condition, and to incorporate the weeds and stubbles into the soils, and to minimize the weed problems. So these are the purposes of puddling. These are the some pictures of puddling activity in the fields which is getting ready for the transplanting. Isolation is one of the important parameter in hybrid seed production. It is must to get the high genetic purity seed. In hybrid rice seed production, three types of isolations are followed. First one is space isolation or spatial isolation, where the 100-meter isolation distance is maintained with other variety of rice crop to avoid any contamination. Second is time isolation, where 21 days difference is maintained in flowering with other variety of rice crop. Third is barrier isolation, where 2-meter height barriers are followed to avoid the pollen movement from foreign field to the seed production plot. Out of above three types of isolation, the space isolation is the best. In case of time or barrier isolation, it is desirable to put border rows of first male, minimum 3 meters, to avoid the contamination chances. Based on wind direction and border male rows, maybe do some modifications in isolation based on the experience of production environment and production personnel. Here we can see the snaps of rice nursery, where the male and female nurseries are maintained, and the before transplanting the nurseries have to be uprooted, and it should be kept separately of male and female seedlings to avoid any admixtures. Transplanting is the one of the important practice in hybrid rice seed production. What is transplanting? It refers to the planting seedlings in the main field after pulling out or uprooting from the nursery field. It is done to reduce the main field duration of the crops, facilitating to grow more number of crops in an year. It is easy to give extra care for tender seedlings. For small seeded crops like rice, which require shallow sowing and frequent irrigation for proper germination, raising nursery is the easiest way. Before transplanting, some preparations should be done, like selection of row direction. It should be approximately perpendicular to direction of the wind prevailing in the area at the time of flowering to enhance cross-pollination. That's help to increase pollen movement to the female stigma and pollen use efficiency. If the rows are perpendicular to the wind direction, the pollen will move easily from male to female stigma and it will result in maximizing the outcrossing. To maximize the outputs, the optimum female and male row ratio is important. The row ratio of pollen and seed parent can vary from hybrid to hybrid and area to area. Out of so many combinations, the 6:2 is best with present genetic and cultural practices. The factors influencing female and male ratio are growth and vigor of pollinator, plant height of the pollinator, size of panicle and amount of residual pollen in male parent, duration and angle of floret opening of CMS line, A line, stigma exertion of CMS line, prevailing wind direction and wind velocity at anthesis time, weather conditions, and crop management practices. In transplanting operation, time of transplanting is the most important factor influencing the yield of the crop. In general, timely transplanting of 30 to 35 days old seedlings in wet season is ideal. 1 to 2 seedlings per hill is sufficient, and the depth of transplanting rice seedling is 2 to 3 centimeter, which is ideal for seedling growth and establishment. In male nursery, 3 staggerings are done, means there will be 3 differential sowings of male, and it will be marked as M1, M2 and M3, and these seedlings are transplanted alternatively one by one. In male, this system is followed to supply the adequate pollen to the female for the whole crossing period to maximize the outcrossing and resulting in high seed yield. So the 3-time sowings of male nursery is preferred. Now we will study about planting pattern. In hybrid rice seed production while transplanting, first male transplanting is done. It is advisable to use plastic rope of 40 to 60 meter length, and it should be marked with the help of ribbon of 3 different colors in such a way that the 3 colors must alternate each other systematically with a spacing of 15 centimeters. Because in male we are using 3 types of male having the different seedling stage, and these are planted alternatively to supply the adequate pollen to the female. After that, the female transplanting. For female transplanting, there is the process to take wooden part of 5 to 8 centimeter width, 3 to 5 centimeter thick, and more than 175 centimeter length, and mark on that with the help of making a cut or paint, etc. Male to female row spacing is 30 centimeter and female at 15 centimeter each spacing transplanted. Means the distance between male to female row is 30 centimeter and female to female it is maintained 15 centimeters. The final spacing would be a spacing within male to male rows 15 by 15 centimeters, a spacing within female to female rows 15 by 15 centimeters, and a spacing between male and female rows is 30 centimeters. Now to study about planting method. Seedlings transplantation should be done straight upright for early establishment. Seedling transplanting depth should be 2 to 3 cm deep in the soil for early plant recovery and better tilling. Very deep transplanting may result in delay establishment and delayed the tilling. All extra male seedlings should be in one corner of the field for gap filling. Extra or unplanted male seedlings should be collected and kept out of the field to avoid male line admixture to female lines. Transplanting of female line is done after completion of male transplanting. 6 lines of female seedlings are transplanted between 2 sets of male rows in such a way that outer rows of female line having a spacing of 30 centimeters from the male line. Within each female line the spacing is maintained 15 centimeters from each other. Around field 4 sides there should be 2 to 4 male rows, which is desirable to enhance crossing and good seed setting in border lines. Now to study about gap filling. Fill the gaps by replacing the dead plant with a new plant to maintain proper plant population. Gap filling is very important activity to obtain maximum seed yield. Gap filling should be done within 1 week of transplanting. For gap filling of male seedling, preferably first or second male should be used to transplant for gap filling in male rows, and female seedling to be transplanted in female rows only. After gap filling, all remaining male or female seedlings must be destroyed. Otherwise, it will make the admixture of male to female or female to male. Now to study about water management. Puddling and leveling minimizes the water requirement in rice crop. At the time of transplanting, a shallow depth of 2 cm of water is adequate since high depth of water will lead to deep planting resulting in reduction of tillering. Maintain 2 to 5 cm of water till seedlings established well. We should drain out the water after 21 to 30 days of transplanting and just maintain the soil moisture, which is good for controlling the non-productive tillers. About 5 cm submergence has to be continued from tillering to seed setting stage of crop. Moisture stress due to inadequate water at rooting and tillering stage causes poor root growth, leading to reduction in tillering, poor stand and low yield. During booting and maturity stages, continuous inundation or stagnation of 5 cm and above leads to advancement in root decay and leaf senescence, delay in heading and reduction in the number of field grains or panicles, and poor harvest index. Water should be drained out from the field 5 to 10 days before harvest depending on soil type to encourage uniform maturity of grains. Critical stages of water requirement in rice crop is tillering stage, panicle initiation stage, booting stage, heading stage, flowering stage and seed development stage. During these stages, the irrigation interval should not exceed the stipulated time so as to cause the depletion of moisture below the saturation level. Now nutrient management. Avoid excessive use of nitrogenous fertilizer to check excessive vegetative growth. Nutrient requirement major depend on soil fertility. In alkaline soil, the use of ammonical fertilizers are the best and the time of application is also most important. Here we have given the schedule and fertilizer requirement for the transplanted field like use of farmyard manures, SSP, zinc sulfate and other fertilizers at various crop stages at the time of transplanting, tillering, at the time of PPI, boot leaf stage, etc. Rogging is one of the important practice in seed production. Although rogging can be done at any time of the crop stages prior to contamination, off types have to be removed from the crop whenever they appear, but the below 3 stages are most important in terms of maintaining high genetic purity. First, vegetative or maximum tillering stage, second is flowering stage, and third is post flowering and before harvesting. Rogging is done to maintain good quality in rice seed yield to achieve good seed quality value. Any admixture will bring down its quality value. Off types, beeline plants, ODV, other distinguishing varieties, diseased and insect infested plants should be rogged out timely. There are various kind of off types which are to be removed in hybrid rice seed production. First one is maintainer plants which are known as beelines. More or less similar appearance is the female plants, but these maintainer plants are having 3 to 5 days early flowering nature than the female lines. These are fertile plants having yellow, plumpy and dehiscent anthers compared to white, empty and shriveled ones in the female plants. Other off-type plants are to be removed based on plant height, growth duration, a spikelet number, shape and size, leaf color, leaf size, and other morphological traits. Off-type plants can be identified and removed both in A and R lines. Others are volunteer plants, which are commercial variety plants of previous crops. So all these to be removed timely. Now to study synchronization in hybrid rice seed production. Synchronization means male and female parents flowering at the same time. It may differ 1 or 2 days, even though they differ in their growth duration or days to flowering. 1 to 2 days difference can be managed easily. Synchronized anthesis is also equally important as well as synchronized flowering date. Male parent flowering 1 to 2 days early than female is considered as desirable characteristics. This is due to when a stigma is receptive, the sufficient pollen must be available by that from male parent with respect to good crossing and best quality. If male parent is delayed and female parent is having early flowering more than 2 days, it may receive foreign pollen for contamination and there may be deterioration in the quality. If male is early by more than 2 days than female parent flowering, most of the pollen can be lost. In case if female is early by more than 3 days, then the stigma can be dead when the pollen is available for crossing. So in such cases, more than 2 days difference in flowering between both parents is a sign of danger, and we have to follow the corrective measures in advance to maintain the synchronization. The seed set to a great extent depend on the pollen supplied from the male parent. Failure in obtaining good synchronization may result in very low yielding or seed yield, which will cause the problem. In hybrid rice seed production, half the success is achieved by perfect synchronization in flowering between parental lines. As synchronization of flowering is concerned in hybrid rice seed production, to ensure the proper synchrony of both parents at flowering, we must follow the recommended staggering of the particular area. Must follow the recommended sowing schedule. In time transplanting has great role. If there is untimely transplanting or seedling transplanting is delayed, it will impact on nicking or synchronization. There should be timely fertilizer application to the both parents, and proper water availability should be there. Timely and accurate agronomic operations to be followed, and we have to check the panicle primordia initiation and predict the synchrony based on the parental behavior. In hybrid rice seed production, synchronization of flowering of both A line and R line is essential in order to ensure pollen availability in R line when stigmas emerge in the A line. Because of this, the male line should be early by 1 to 2 days. Synchronized flowering result in good seed set in A line and higher yields in production plots can be expected. The A and R line may differ for flowering due to their inherent genetic differences for this trait as well as due to their differential photothermal sensitivity. So there should be proper following of staggering whatever recommended. Before going to hybrid seed production, there should be generation of information on flowering behavior of parental lines of hybrids in actual seed production rather than in experimental areas. Because according to the different production locations, climate variations, there may be differences in synchronization. Panicle primordia initiation (PPI) in rice. Panicle initiation starts generally after 75 to 80 days of sowing in hybrid rice. The panicle emergence will take place after 20 days of PPI, means from sowing date it will be approximate 100 days. To check the panicle primordia initiation stage, we have to select the longest growing tiller, which is main tiller, with longest leaf and cut it at the base where stem and root join. Next process is stilt the stem lengthwise, longitudinal, from the base up to the top of the tiller, and we can open the slit immediately above the nodal portion and check the primordia initiation stage. On periodical growth stages, we have to check to get the correct idea about the nicking status of the both male and female lines. Here to study the developmental stages of panicle during reproductive phase in rice. There are 10 stages from panicle initiation to heading. First stage is panicle primordial stage. Second is primary branch primordial stage. Third is secondary branch primordial stage. Fourth is stamen and pistil primordial stage. Fifth is pollen mother cells stage. Sixth is meiotic division stage. Seventh is mature pollen development stage. Eighth is ripe stage of pollen. Ninth is completed spikelet stage, and 10th stage is heading. To check the nicking status of both male and female parents, we have to check the primordia initiation stage on periodical differences. We can take the suitable measures when the PPI stage is below 4th stage. We can control any differences between male and female when the PPI stage is below 4th stage. If it is crossing 5th stage, then it may be difficult. So here we have to check the A line primordial initiation stage and male lines, by which if there is any need of correction measures, we can take suitable steps for the improving the situation. Synchronization management of parental lines. Synchronization of both parents' flowering is very important in hybrid rice seed production. If we are observing the difference between flowering of both parents, immediate measures should be taken. There are 3 management conditions depending on the synchronization status. First is managing differences of 3 to 5 days between two parents, where the first parent is in stage 1 and second parent is in stage 3rd. In such condition, we can easily control and manage the nicking, and there will be no much more problems. Second stage, managing differences of 5 to 7 days between two parents, where the first parent is in stage 1 and second parent is in stage 4th. This status is somewhat complicated and we may face difficulty to make the synchronization up to the mark. Third condition, managing the difference of more than 7 days between two parents, where the first parent is in stage 1 and second parent is in stage 5th. This condition is very alarming, and the possibility of correcting the nicking is very tough, but we have to follow the all management measures what we are following in above two situations. Now we will study the managing difference of 3 to 5 days between two parents. In this condition also there are two possibilities. First, to control early parent, where we have to delay flowering. There will be a spraying of quick releasing nitrogen fertilizers like urea 2% concentration. And second position, where we have to advance the late parent. In such case, there should be a spraying of 1% solution of phosphate fertilizer like single super phosphate on late parent. There should be soil application of phosphate fertilizer single super phosphate at the rate 25 kg per acre in A line and at the rate 10 kg per acre in R line, which will enhance the flowering. So there are two possibilities. We can control the early parent by delaying flowering, and the late parent by advancing the flowering. There should be two spray at alternate days, which will give good result. Now second situation of managing synchronization is managing difference of 5 to 7 days between two parents. In this situation, we can opt for a spraying as well as fertilizer application. On early parent, we can apply nitrogen, urea as soil application at the rate 25 kg in A line and at the rate 10 kg per acre in R line. By application of this fertilizer will induce unproductive late tillers to productive panicles and advance the flowering date. Panicle of early parents should be removed while applying the urea, and there should be a spray of orthophosphoric acid 0.2% solution on the late parent at 8 stage of panicle development stage, which is generally boot leaf stage, and it will advance the flowering. There should be a spray of boric acid at the rate 0.05% solution on the late parent at 8 to 9 stage of panicle development, which is boot leaf to pre-flowering stage, and the spray of boric acid will advance the flowering date if the parent is late. There should be a spray of KH2PO4 solution at 10% flowering, which will enhance stigma receptivity if female is late, and if female is early, in that case GA3 spray at the rate 0.002% solution means 3 gram per acre with knapsack sprayer at 5% flowering stage in female will help to enhance stigma receptivity. In pollen parent R line, we have to drain out the water from the field, which will enhance the flowering under Indian condition when the male is delay. So we have to follow all these measures to synchronize the flowering. Here we have shown the field photos of rice flowering field. There are some maximizing outcrossing techniques in hybrid rice seed production which are used to increase the seed yield. There are various methods. First one is flag leaf clipping, second is gibberellic acid applications, and third is supplementary pollinations. In case of flag leaf clipping, in rice, flag leaf obstructs proper pollen dispersal from R line and also obstructs its landing on a stigma of A line. This could conveniently be avoided by clipping off flag leaves at the time of panicle emergence to facilitate effective pollen dispersal. If the flag leaf clipping is done, the pollen will fall on a stigma of the female and it will result in good seed setting. The second method of maximizing outcrossing is gibberellic acid application. Gibberellic acid GA3 is a growth promoter. It is an efficient and effective growth hormone which stimulates the cell elongation. GA3 has a big importance in hybrid rice seed production in different way, like it helps in enhancing panicle exertion from the flag leaf, increase the duration of floret opening, increase the stigma exertion and stigma receptivity. GA3 can be used to adjust plant height, and it is helpful in adjusting the flowering between parental lines, useful in widening flag leaf angle, and increase the growth rate of secondary and tertiary tillers so that they bear panicles. The GA3 of 90% technical is used to spray, and the schedule is first spray is done at 5 to 10% flowering, where the 20 gram GA3 is used per acre, and second spray is done to enhance the height of male if required. It is used 15 gram per acre and it is done next to the first spray. And the third day after the first spraying, 15 gram per acre dose is used. Third method of maximizing outcrossing is supplementary pollination. Supplementary pollination refers the process to enhance the pollination efficiency by increasing pollen dispersal. It is done by two methods, either by stick method or second is rope method. In a stick method, The supplementary pollination is done by shaking of male parent panicles with long bamboo stick during anthesis period, which normally takes place between 10 am to 1 pm, and it helps in spread of pollen grains widely and evenly. This is desirable to enhancing rate of out pollination and thus higher seed set on female panicles. In rope method, rope is pulled over male rose by two ends. Supplementary pollination is advantageous to carry out during anthesis period. Supplementary pollination without anthesis is of no use. Rotation of supplementary pollination is important. It should be at intervals of 20 to 25 minutes and minimum of 4 times a day. The method of supplementary pollination also play an important role in spreading pollen grains. Shaking with the 3 to 5 meter long bamboo stick is best one. Start the supplementary pollination next day at that place where it was ended today. In general, put 4 to 5 laborers to pollinate 1 acre. Avoid weak or old labor as pollination has to be done rigorously. There are two methods of weed management in rice crop. First one is hand weeding. There will be requirement of manual weeding 2 or 3 times in standing crop, and the seed field must be always free from weeds. Second is use of weedicides or chemicals. The use of weedicide is useful in both ways, efficient and economical in the transplanted field. Top star herbicide at the rate 35 gram per acre is recommended for application 2 to 3 days after transplanting as a method of broadcasting. This slide represents the various rice insect pests which are important, like stem borer, brown plant hopper, leaf folder or leaf roller, gall midge, rice hispa, gandhi bug, green leaf hopper, cutworm or armyworm. So proper protection measures should be taken to control the insect pests. These are the field snaps of rice diseases which are common in hybrid rice seed production fields, like sheath blight, blast, brown spot disease, sheath rot, false smut, bacterial leaf blight, leaf streak and rice tungro diseases. So proper chemical spray should be done timely to control the diseases. Here we have shown the chart for plant protection measures, where the various chemicals like herbicides, insecticides, fungicides and growth promoters are used at various crop stages to protect the crop. This is the picture of mature crop which is ready to harvest. Now we will go through harvesting process in hybrid rice seed production field. Taking the average duration of the crop as an indication, drain the water from the field 7 to 10 days before the expected harvest date, as draining hastens maturity and improves harvesting conditions. When 90% of the panicles turn astra or golden yellow color, the crop is ready for harvest. Even at this stage, the leaves of some of the varieties may remain green. Confirm maturity by selecting the most mature tiller and dehusk few seeds. If the rice is clear and firm, it is in hard duff stage. The moisture percent in the seed should be less than 23% for manual harvesting, and for combined harvesting it should be less than 18%. When most of the seeds at the base of the panicle in the selected tiller are in a hard duff stage, the crop is ready for harvest. At this stage, harvest the crop, thresh and winnow the seeds. Dry the seeds to 12% moisture level for storage. Maturity may be hastened by 3-4 days by spraying 20% sodium chloride a week before harvest to escape monsoon rains. Harvest of male parent. Male rose harvesting should be done 3 to 4 days earlier than the female rose. Male should be harvested manually from ground level by cutting them off at the base with a sickle. Remove male plants from fields after harvest. All the harvested males should be staked separately away from the female threshing floor. Check each line thoroughly for any dropout panicles of male parent. Any negligence will result in admixtures in hybrid seed at this stage. Harvesting of female parent. Before harvesting female rose, check thoroughly for off types and dropout panicles of male parent and ensure their complete removal. Final roguing must be done by well-trained persons under direct supervision of field supervisor. Female line can be harvested either manually with sickle and then threshing or with combined harvester. In case of manual harvesting, harvest the female rows manually by cutting them off at the base with a sickle and stake them near threshing floor, which must be away from male stake. If using the combined harvesters, then the machine must be cleaned very intensively and separate the few early harvested bags. It is done to avoid any admixtures. The machine must be used strictly for one hybrid. Now threshing. If rice crop is harvested manually, then threshing is one of the important process which is separating the grain from the straw. Threshing can be done by tractor, bullocks, thresher and manually. All threshing equipments and the threshing floor should be thoroughly cleaned before starting threshing. Always use pakka or cemented threshing floor or use clean tarpaulins while threshing so that mud, sand and other particles are not mixed with the seed and to protect seed from unfavorable weather conditions also. The precautions should be taken while threshing. In case of manual harvesting, we have to do threshing separately. Ensure complete cleaning of threshing floor by thoroughly checking any dropout seeds. During threshing, the male line and female line harvest must be kept separate from each other. The hybrid seed should not get mixed with other seed or grain on the threshing floor. The male line will only be threshed when the hybrid seed has been completely threshed, cleaned and bagged. Female parent should be threshed before male parent to avoid any admixtures and quality issues. Now cleaning, drying and bagging process. Harvested seed should be cleaned by air winnowing or using motorized fans. Avoid making the heap or do not fill into the gunny bags if seed moisture are having high, otherwise it may cause germination issues. Seed should be dried up to desired moisture of 12%. Respective lot number on each gunny bag should be mentioned carefully. Always new or clean gunny bags should be used, which should be free from pests to avoid any contamination and insect infestation. Store the gunny bags in cool and dry place, away from wall and on wooden racks. Finally, seed dispatch to warehouse. Dispatch the raw seed to the seed storage warehouse or processing unit. Before transportation, verify the lot numbers on the bags. Check the truck before loading the bags. Authorized transporters. It has to be properly cleaned and have tarpaulins. Strictly one hybrid in one truck should be dispatched. If different hybrids are sent in one truck, tarpaulins should be placed in between hybrids to separate them. When loading is finished, cover all bags with tarpaulins, write neatly all necessary documents, and dispatch the truck after cross verifying the documents. So this presentation was all about hybrid rice seed production. Now my presentation ends here. Hope this will be very useful to all of you. Thank you very much. I have given here my YouTube channel details, journey with Vijay Kumar Srivastav. Having request, please visit the channel, subscribe it, and provide your kind and valuable feedback for further improvements. Thank you.